Alright, so this video might contain some spoilers for the old Swordsmith Village arc or just the Demon Slayer manga in general. So episode 8, the Mu in Muichiro, was an amazing episode and maybe, in my opinion, the best episode of this season so far. They changed a lot of things from the manga and a lot of good things, and they just added a lot of stuff as well that's not in the manga that I appreciate so much. So the staff for this episode was amazing. Again, might be the best staff of this season so far. We had Shirai as the storyboarder, which was incredible. And we had Mino, who was the episode director. Those two with the storyboarding and the episode directing made an incredible job. So the episode starts where we left off last episode. Muichiro is taking out all of the needle from Gyoko's fish. Now, normally here in the manga, Muichiro is starting to get his memories back as he's taking out the needles and stuff. Here in the anime, we don't get the backstory yet. Here we see Muichiro taking out all of the needles all at once. He talks about Kotetsu, you know, he sees Kotetsu, and then we see all the fish. And in the manga, here we get kind of a little flashback that Muichiro gets of the master. Basically, the master saying that when Muichiro gets his memories back, he's gonna get stronger. And then Muichiro in the manga is saying that seeing the disease of the master growing is hurting him, you know. Here in the anime, they just cut it out, like we don't get it. And in the manga, there's only one fish and Muichiro kills the fish like easy. Here in the anime, we get like 5 fish just lining up. And then in the anime, they're kind of doing a classic anime where Muichiro has no strength. It seems like he can't do nothing, he's about to die. And then we get the classic anime kind of flashback, you know what I mean, like just at the moment that you think he's gonna die, which I don't know if I necessarily like, since it's kind of generic a little bit. I still don't know which one I like better in the manga, where he just gets his memories back slowly as he, you know, he's taking out the water out of his lungs, the needles, he kills the fish, talking to Kotetsu, his memories gets back. Or here in the anime where he's kind of about to die and he gets kind of his old flashback. So I'm not sure which one I like. Let me know in the comments which scenario you like better in the manga or in the anime. So here in the anime we get all of Muichiro's backstory in one shot. So here, I mean, I think this is peak Demon Slayer background art and just compositing this episode. I don't think I've seen as good as this in any episode so far. Yeah. This old scene with Muichiro and his dad cutting the trees, this is kind of all anime only. We don't see much of his dad, so that's a really cool addition, just so that when his dad dies it feels more impactful and we can really see how much Muichiro loves his dad as well, which makes his story all the more sad. There's a lot of added stuff. I mean, most of it is all added stuff here with Muichiro with his mom. In the manga we have one panel of his mom sick. Here we have a whole scene of Muichiro taking care of her, and the old red ambience that they're using here, it's amazing. Like, the lighting with the red is so cool, bro. Like, this scene with his mom saying that she's cold and Muichiro just hugging her is, oh man, it's so sad, bro. And here I think I have my favorite looking scene in any backstory of Demon Slayer. This is my favorite rain scene in Demon Slayer. It's so beautiful, it's insane. The red ambience that they're using with the like, I'm literally speechless of how good it looks. And this whole scene as well is anime only, with his dad going to search for the herb for his mother. So good, bro. What? The CGI here, or just the 3D that they're using, is so good. And this sequence with the music and the color switching with kind of the blue, red, and the rain and the music, literally one of my favorite scene. Like, this old scene of backstory with his mom and his dad is one of my favorite sequence in Demon Slayer. And then here in the anime we actually get to see a shot of his dad just dead on the floor, and I love this shot as well with him holding the flowers as well, so good. Then this whole sequence with Muichiro and Yoichiro is exactly as in the manga, where we get the reveal that he has a twin, and then the whole conversation between Yoichiro and Muichiro here as well is just like in the manga, with the Mu and Muichiro amazing, and again they're using this golden background which is perfect. I love the fact as well that they use the same voice actor for Yoichiro as well. I mean, I don't know if I like it because I've seen some animes being confused a little bit at the end of the episode when Yoichiro talks. Really awesome sequence of the season changing as well here, it's so good. And here this scene with the river at the water, bro. How can it look so good? The 3D that they're using for this water is insane. And it's not the first time we've seen this kind of water used before, but with the color and so yeah. Again here with the master's wife, exactly as in the manga, looks amazing. Now the eye catcher, this one is not anything from really in the manga, it's just kind of a shot of Muichiro with the leaves, it's amazing. And then this one is basically the cover of chapter 108, but here they just kind of added the needles of Gyoko. And then here this whole sequence where basically Yoichiro is being mad and talking to Muichiro is where the storyboarding is really shining. It's Shirai, bro, Shirai. Shout out to the voice acting as well, which was amazing here. They did exactly as in the manga as well, where in the manga where we get kind of 4 different angle and shot of Yoichiro just cutting the vegetable, and they did the same thing here in the anime. And just the no kind of sound with the vegetable just rolling on the floor really builds the tension as well. Again, here this shot, just before Yoichiro just starts screaming, we can see in the bottom right corner just the fire brewing, which kind of represent Yoichiro, just his anger is boiling inside him right now, so it really sets the ambience with the fire just burning here. It's so those little details which really builds the tension and builds the scene really well. And the lighting just coming out from the window as well, like what the hell, bro, this is the best looking backstory we've seen in Demon Slayer. I don't even want to air anything, bro. We get a lot of those different angles and really interesting and dynamic shots like this, which with the camera shaking, which makes this really unsettling, and it's so good. Everything, the voice acting, especially this shot, it's amazing with his arm being in front of the camera. We can see like his fist, the line around his fist are really thick, and the closer that we get to his shoulders and the further we get from the camera, the lines get thinner. Some great details here, man. And as well, is it kind of a foreshadowing that he's gonna lose this arm, this left arm? Like we're giving a lot of attention to his left arm. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but in the manga we know Muichiro says that Yoichiro threw water at Amane, but in the anime we actually get a shot of him throwing the water, so it's cool. A really good shot here as well of the sky. You can really feel that the air, it's hot, like it's summer, you can really feel it. Here in the manga we just switch scene and the demon is already in the house. Here in the anime we kind of get a little bit of a build up with Muichiro and Yoichiro just kind of sleeping, and then we get this amazing animation of the water. It's like here, just look how smooth the water is. What the fuck, man. This shot is interesting. I don't know if it's done on purpose or what, but this shot of Muichiro reminds me so much of the shot of Kokoshibo that we got in episode 1 of this season, where we just kind of see his profile. They look exactly the same. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but it looks really similar. And here they did something amazing with the sound of the cicadas in the background just getting louder, and then boom, the sound cuts of there's no sound and the demon is just here. It's amazing, just listen to that. Listen. You see how it got louder and then just no sound? Amazing. Love that in the anime they actually made Yoichiro just getting in front of Muichiro to protect him, and this shot is so like, yeah, it's really impactful with just the arm beside him and with the blood that just splashes in Moichiro's face. And I think the key animator that did this whole sequence here is Nakamura. I could be wrong, but I think Nakamura did this whole sequence, and the character acting is peak. It's perfect. Just hear this walk. Look at this character acting. The face of Muichiro here just portrays the horror and just the shock of Muichiro right now perfectly. Love what they did here with the kind of red splashes of blood before Muichiro goes crazy. It's a cool addition that builds the tension. The sequence that follows, just like in the manga, of where Muichiro screams, it's perfect. Here the shot is just like in the manga. It just shows how crazy Muichiro is, man. Like, my man just used boulders, used a freaking mace, axe. Like, the whole sequence after that is just like in the manga, with him talking to Yoichiro and Yoichiro saying that he just wants Muichiro to live and survive, with him just talking really quietly. It's, yeah, wow, the voice acting nailed it. Now this is where it's a little bit different, where the backstory kind of ends in the manga. Muichiro gets the mark, but there's no fish, so he's just going straight for Gyoko, and in the manga he's really enraged, like he's not happy at all. And the mark is red, which I kind of guessed that it would be, and they're using the same effect as Tanjiro, where it's just burning on him when it appears, which is makes sense with how the mark works and how you get the mark and everything, so it kind of makes sense. So here in the anime we see Muichiro kill all of the 5 fishes with his misbreeding. Like I said, this is not in the manga, and I think this misbreeding attack is the one that he used against Atengu, like in episode 3. I could be wrong. So they kind of reused a misbreeding form that they already used, so that they don't display a new breeding technique. And yeah, this is where it's a little bit different. Like I said, in the manga he's in rage, just rage, and in the anime he's calm, you know. He's just like, right, I gotta go save them. Aganeska the goat still going at it, just like in the manga. Now the whole sequence with Gyoko being like, how is he alive and stuff, and seeing the mark, just like in the manga, nothing changed, it's done well. The attack that Gyoko used here with the octopus is all 2D, which I'm really happy with. I thought it would be CGI, since almost every Gyoko Blood Demon art so far has been CGI, and they used 2D for that one, which it's perfect. It looks so good. But this is where we see Moichiro's sword. Finally, it's amazing. The color is so good. The gold as well on it, it's perfect, man. Now I would say that I think I like the shot in the manga better of this sequence of where basically Moichiro says thank you to Kanamori. I still like the shot better in the manga. It's pretty rare, but this time I definitely like the one better in the manga. I just feel like it's more detailed. Maybe it's the blood that's lacking on Moichiro's. Maybe I would have liked a shot closer to him, maybe. I don't know, maybe it's just not as detailed as in the manga. The colors are amazing nonetheless, you know. Especially here, his sword here in this shot is so freaking good. This is definitely the best looking shot of his sword. This sequence with his first swordsmith is like just like in the manga. I love the colors with the orange and the green. You have the old voice actor, it just sounds so cool, man. And he has the drip as well. He looks so cool. And one of my favorite scene of the episode with Muichiro saying I am fine, and I love that when he actually really gets into it and he's about to do an attack or something, his mark gets brighter, it just starts glowing with the red. It's perfect, it's so cool. And then this is where we get into the sequence of Abe, Nozumo Abe the goat, you know him. It's definitely not my favorite cut from him in Demon Slayer, but it's Abe, bro. So basically the start of the sequence is just Muichiro dodging the octopus and getting closer to Gyoko. Again, we can see a lot of smears on the mist as well, and sometimes Muichiro just kind of transform into mist, like just to show how fast he is. Sometimes he just kind of disappears, transform into mist, and then he reappears. And the reason why the octopus is 2D in my opinion is probably because most of it was Abe that was doing it, and Konihiro as well did some scene, but it's mostly probably because of Abe that they decided to go with the 2D. And those shots are so good, with Moichiro's feet being close to us and just his head being so far away, like he seems like he's so tall. It just makes the movement feel so much more dynamic. It's so good, man. And then we get this sequence with what the hell? We get this sequence where the mist kind of clears and we can actually see it really clear. We see all the slashes, but we don't see what happens to the octopus yet. And then boom, all at once, they all just get cut all at once. And then again, there's almost no mist, there's just a little bit of mist around him, and then we kind of have just an explosion of mist. And then right after, we can see there's so much mist behind him. It's, oh man, Abe did it again. Amazing shot here with Muichiro, his mark, and the mist just in the background. I can talk about it for years, but so normally here, this is where the manga chapter ends with Gyoko saying, "Don't underestimate me, brat." Here in the anime, we get a whole sequence of action that's not in the manga, which is amazing. And this attack that Gyoko used here with the water is in the opening, and it's an attack that's not in the manga at all, so it's kind of an attack anime only. This whole sequence with him dodging and cutting the water looks amazing. So here they reused the bloody man art that we've seen with the fish using the needles, but now there's a lot of them, and they're showing the speed of Muichiro really well here with just the needle breaking just in front of the camera, which is a really cool shot. And here, this is where they change a little bit from the manga. So here we hear Yoichiro talking to Muichiro. In the manga, this whole narration by Yoichiro is after Muichiro gets the mark, but they changed it here in the anime where they put his narration at the end of the episode with this anime only fighting sequence. It makes this fight so much more impactful, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot more meaning to this fight. Love this shot as well here of Yoichiro. We can actually see when Yoichiro was taking out his anger on Muichiro. Here in this shot we can see that even Yoichiro was crying after this, showing that he did, you know, it was really hurting him doing this. And we end the episode on this amazing sequence of Muichiro cutting Gyoko. The mist is looking at his best. I really hope the mist look at this good next episode, because we're gonna need this kind of mist. It's so good. So amazing episode. I would give this episode a 9.3 out of 10. I mean, almost perfect. Seriously, it's one of the best Demon Slayer episode for sure. So next episode, the Mist Ashura Muichiro Tokito, which is kind of funny. I think this is the third episode where we have a title out of Moichiro's name. So next episode could be the best episode of the season for sure, like 100% one of the best episode. Like it could be on the level of Tengen versus Gyotaro if they want to. So for me, the next episode ends on chapter 122. It's either ending on with this panel of all of Moichiro's family over him saying that he did a good job and basically the end of the old Gyoko Moichiro, or it could end on this panel of Mitsuri saving Tanjiro. So it's either one of them. It's kind of tough to predict, to be honest. But let me know on which one you think it might end, and don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my reaction to the episode 9 this Sunday. It's gonna be an insane episode, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed this type of content, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Alright, see ya.